Afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to XG Files. Stephen Howson, Ronaldo Brown. Going to be talking about Baleba. First comment I've spotted there, Mr. Collins, 93, hi, says, hopefully he fails.
I saw that. Do you know what? So, because I'll ask the chat, actually. So, obviously, Baleba was a massive transfer target for United in the summer.
Dick's out for Baleba.
100%. We didn't end up signing a midfielder, which I still think was really stupid. And we probably have paid for it a little bit, may pay for it further down the season.
Yeah, I like tomorrow afternoon.
But if you're looking at Baleba and people that like him, he's obviously had a bit of a dodgy start to the season. Apparently, the last Premier League game that he played, he was back to his exceptional best. So he come out of the funk a little bit just in time.
Nice. Just like Nottingham Forest getting Sean Dyche to go full Dyche mode.
Yeah, exactly. That's very jarring. And it's like, are you hoping he fails the audition because then United obviously have a better chance of winning? But could you also have it both ways where he shows you why United want him and he's a good player, but United still win anyway?
That's the best case.
That's the best case, isn't it?
Especially if we end up getting him.
Yeah, because I was a big Baleba guy, but I think the start of the season started to concern me about...
miles off the pace.
And also, I didn't know whether it posed a bit of a mentality question, because we spoke about this when it comes to recruitment. Everyone always looks at the ability, but they do have to look at the mentality, personality. That stuff they do take into account when they do transfers. They even ask for references the same way of any job. They'll ask, what's he like on the training pitch? What's he like with what's his work rate? What's his home life like?
Tell you who doesn't do that. Chelsea
don't do that. They do it, but you do know the same as in anything. If you're good enough as a footballer, they're more willing to overlook certain things in it, but they'll still keep an eye on it.
Not clearly.
But I think it's a situation where it's going to be audition. I think all eyes are going to be on him. A lot of United fans are very tribal, so they're very United centric and don't really watch. There's a lot of United fans that don't watch much outside of the big teams or maybe just United in general.
I think there's a lot of people that only watch United.
Only watch United, including Jay Motti. Jay Motti admits it. Do you know what I mean? I said the joke I have with Jay is you're not a football fan, you're a Manchester United fan.
That's fine.
You know what I mean?
People can be that.
Yeah, it's true. And so a lot of United fans base their judgment on players just on how they see them perform up against us. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the only time we really get to see him for full 90s, for the most part anyway. Obviously, a lot of fans still watch in general, but...
Oh, they watch Match of the Day, which is so heavily edited and clipped up, and you miss so much of... You can't accurately assess a player on Match of the Day. You can't. You got to watch the games, you got to watch the matches. Obviously, I think I love football, but I still don't watch all Premier League games. I do miss games sometimes because you can't be out. Sometimes you need a little bit of break, I think 7 days a week, just brains just constantly on about football, innit? Do you ever feel that? Yeah. So sometimes I do like to try and take a bit of a... Yeah, I've watched none of the Champions League games this week on purpose.
Do you think if you didn't have the job you did, you'd probably watch them more? Or
No, I don't know. Yeah. Because I probably have always watched a lot of football just naturally, which is why I probably gravitated towards doing this as a job.
Okay. That does make sense. Sorry, you know what caught my eye there? I don't know if you're going to cane me for this. Obviously, we're talking about Baleba. Izzo says, don't worry, lads. Despite Ronnie's comments, Steve still has the full support of the board.
Oh, yeah.
You are the board, though.
Well, no, we have a committee, don't we? But
you're full on Marinakis, isn't it?
I could be. I could probably force through anything I wanted. But no, we are a democracy.
It is a democracy.
Yeah, we are a democracy.
That's true.
I mean, we are a true democracy.
Okay.
My kit design won. But we do post them anonymously.
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
And we try to not give you any indication as to who designed what. But this year, the paddock kits, in case you were wondering what we're talking about here, the paddock kits, my home won, and Janine's away won. But at the end of the day, we didn't have a ton of designs actually put forward for this one.
Okay. I think the kits have been good, but. I'll bypass that because there's a question I wanted to ask you anyway.
Yeah, hang on, wait. Yeah, so let's put it out there. So, Steve and the lads were Wally of the Week for last Saturday's performance?
Yes, because I watched every minute of it.
What did I do?
Do you take any credit if we win games?
Depends.
So if you lose, if a team loses, it's a collective thing.
Depends.
Especially a result like that.
It's always depends.
A result in a performance like that.
Can I have an impact on how we win games?
Even the kit man gets blamed.
Can I have? Yeah, that's true. Can I have an impact on how we win games? Yes. Can I have an impact on when we lose games? Yes. Do I have an impact every time we win a game? No. Do I have an impact every time we lose a game? No.
But last week was so bad. I just had to say everyone. Yeah,
it's probably fair.
I was watching it more stressed out sometimes than I watch United games, thinking what's going on, because it's playing for big honours, and that weren't good enough.
I don't know if we had 5 complete passes in a row.
Yeah. I don't think so.
And we have players passing it to the keeper with 1v1s. We had defending like we'd never heard of defending before.
Sometimes it's just a bad day at the office, isn't it?
Oh, that was well, I said at the end of the game, which again, even the camera crew had a bad day at the office. They recorded my interview in slow-mo, which has got no sound on it. So everyone collectively shit the bed. So right, even a kit man gets it this weekend.
Yeah.
But I said, there's probably been our worst performance in a year, because it probably has been our. Like, when was the last time we had a game that bad?
True. And also the Wally of the Week thing, to say Steve, it's just funny saying you. There's a whole part of it. It's like you can deep it and say that the team played bad and that. I thought it was just funny for me to say you. It's just funny, innit?
Fine.
Well, it's humor. It wasn't even more deep thought. It was just funny to say, especially because I'm never prepared to have one, and I almost feel like I forget about it and say. So I just thought, you know what. So before people are going to constantly remind you about it to try and throw me under the bus, but to be fair, I might have thrown myself under the bus. But we're talking about bad days at the office, yeah. Are you concerned? Because you know where I've put Baleba on the thumbnail. I mean, being deck sorted out. I put our midfielders on it because it's like that's who he's going to be up against. So some composition of Bruno, Casemiro.
I went with Ugarte because I wanted legs in there. And I know it ain't your cup of tea, but I think that might be what you need to do. Is just get in his face a little bit.
Because it's
Mainu's not getting in his face, is he? Mainu's just nice.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to think about on the ball as well. And do you anticipate that we're going to be? Because if this isn't a midfield battle situation, are you expecting United to still do this direct long ball football? Because Hursley's come out. I saw his quotes just before I came downstairs saying he talks about how United have become very like direct and long balls, so it's like something a little bit different to deal with. And I think that's been a massive topic all week. Is United basically a hoofball team now? Well,
for starters, did we have 6 more long balls than Liverpool, or 6 less than Liverpool last weekend? For starters, it was negligible difference.
I think United have attempted the 2nd or 3rd most long balls.
Okay, but in
the league the whole season though.
But in that specific game,
yeah,
there was like 6 difference between us. Either they was on top or we was on top. Either way, there was only 6 difference. It's irrelevant.
For stuff like that, they should. Because if one team attempts a lot more passes, does that not? Then it's not relative, is it?
Well, it doesn't matter.
If one team has 800 passes in their game and 400 passes are long, if one team has 400 passes and 350 are long, technically,
still,
one team's had more long passes.
Well, you're talking about long balls. You're talking about percentage of passes that are long or short. It doesn't matter. It's still X number of long balls.
So you don't mean a percentage, you might. Because you know me, I always try and apply context to stats. Do you know what I mean? Because I think people hate doing that. People usually like doing it to confirm their own biases, really. But I think
the fact is they played either 6 more or 6 less than us in terms of long ball.
I think it was a good strategy and a good tactic to go to Anfield with, and it worked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree. And there's been an increasing thing of like losing the possession in and around your own box, where playing out has maybe been forced and hasn't worked. So people are opting to go long a little bit. Now, I think there's a real strategy, one that we spotted when we signed Sesko, which is the Sesko flick onto Mbuemo will be deadly once it starts clicking. Now, what we did against Liverpool was not try and win first contact, but try and win the second ball.
Quite clever.
Yeah. I think you'd be insane to try and do that again now, because managers watch. Ursula, 1,000,000% has looked at 2-3 of the things that we did last week and is coming up with a strategy to deal with and counter 2 of the 3 things that we did last week. So when you've done something and it's been highlighted by everybody, like that would have been this week, you adapt it. You don't change it entirely, but you mix it up. So are we still going to go long? Yes, we are. But maybe we throw Sesko in there now and we try and win the first contact and we try and flick it onto Mbuemo. So the setup is the same. Everyone's job's the same. If you lose first contact, you've still got all the players there in position to win the second ball. If you win first contact, now you're on the attack and you're in behind the defence. So you've still got your options. So I think what you have to do there is maintain pressure with that, and maybe even you go long for the first 4 or 5, because what are Brighton known for?
Ball playing.
Well, I was going to say like a ruthless press.
Yes. So
you go long for the first 4 or 5.
It feels like every team presses now, innit? Most teams.
It's very common, yeah. But like the worst press is the first press, right? There's nothing more coordinated or as intense as the first goal kick. Yeah, that's always going to be the worst one. Yeah, or after just conceded or whatever. So your first 4 or 5, you go long, and the lads are all going. That's what the gaffer said. Yeah, watch for the second balls. They're going to crowd it in a little bit like that. And then you go short, and you play out. And then you play out until the end of the half. So then you get in at half time, and he goes, right, they're playing out. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to change. Well, you go high, you go man for man across the back line. And then the first 15 from the start of the second half, you go long again. You just got to set patterns and break patterns. And you got to make people think you're doing something and then change it. That's what you do when you're elite. And then it's hard to... The worst thing in the world is like, at the back end of last season and quite a little bit under Ten Hag, you knew exactly what United were going to do because we only had one way to do whatever it was that we was trying to do. The very best teams have got multiple ways to hurt you. So even if the setup can look the same, like we just said there, like you can go long and lose it, win a second ball. You can go long, win the flick on, and you've made something in behind. You don't necessarily have to have a completely different way of playing, but you've got 2 options from that one single manoeuvre. And I think if you've got multiple ways where you can do that, now then you can go, we can play out and we can push Dorgu and Ahmad up to really raid on that back line. You might have to drop an extra midfielder in now. Baleba might have to start going in between the lines to try and pick up Cunha or someone like that. That drags him out of midfield. That gives Bruno more time on the ball. Like these are the chess games that you have to try and play. And I think that's where United have struggled a little bit, is because we've been too obvious. And I think in the last couple of weeks, by us going direct, not trying to play out, not giving, because we made quite a lot of mistakes playing out, by going high, by going long, we forced Sunderland into a change half an hour into that game, didn't we?
Yep.
I wonder if you can do the same sort of thing, because we did something, because Laments was the new thing that came in.
Yeah.
And opposition had no data on what he was going to do, and he just was like, I ain't fucking about with it. And again, is that good management from Amorim? It took so long to bed him in, and then when he's bed him in, he's basically said to him, we're not going to fuck about, we're not going to put you under pressure, we're not going to have you drop a clanger where your confidence goes, red zone it, send it.
Because obviously with the Sunderland one, the manager come out after the game, so he didn't expect United to, obviously they had a press planned. They had a press, coordinated press, expecting United obviously at home to play out, and then United just was like, nah, we're just going to boot it long, and it kind of threw what they expected off. Do you know what I mean? And listen, if that's the case, then it's probably the midfield battle becomes a little bit different then. It's more about loose balls. It might not be like a game of like ball playing.
Did you see what he said? Slot, the other night after the game.
It's hard to press on the balls in the air or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Did you see how many times that United had the ball on the floor and we made like 15, 20 passes in that game? It happened quite a lot, especially in the first half.
Was it from build-up or was that from like transitions? You know, out of transitions, you know the ones where you win the ball back and then you play, like just in normal play.
Yeah, switch it, get it out of danger.
Yeah.
And then I saw someone reply to someone posted the video of Slot whinging and saying like, oh, against United and Chelsea the ball was in the air all the time, and it shown like a sequence of Chelsea playing out and hitting like 20 passes from a goal kick. You're like,
yeah, because their press has actually become a little bit mediocre.
Yeah, dog shit
off the ball, and he's not getting the kind of Salah carry job again. Salah came on against Frankfurt and just was like,
yeah, he's changed all his stuff. So he's done that proper like.
Because you know what he was doing? He came on and he did the. Liverpool scored 5. I was bench. I'm just scoring, so he never passed. So ball came to him. He could have just passed it across the words, and he was greedy, and then I think he got a bit of abuse for it, and then he's like,
heads fell off.
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to see this revolt. I'm warming up this Isak Ekitike revolt. I think something's going to happen there. Because
is it Ekitike's brother or agent?
His family has like been liking and sharing like.
Yeah, when he starts, we win. When he doesn't, we lose.
And from what I know of Ekitike, he's got very confident, a lot of bravado. He didn't do the thing of when he signed. He had an idea that Isak was going to be signed as well, but he didn't care because some strikers would have been like, "Oh, I'm not guaranteed playing time." He's kind of come with the, "I don't care, I'm good enough. I'm better than him." Do you know what I mean? I'll play. And Isak, apparently, from what you've seen, Newcastle now have come out. I think he was quite well protected, but come out. His attitude apparently at Newcastle wasn't always great. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't always warm with his teammates. Could probably had a bit of an ego himself. And I think he's not going to like the fact that Ekitike's started well. I just think there's going to be a lot of carnage and a lot of revolts at Liverpool, and I'm here for it because I'm sick and tired of him happening at United and us being. I'd be happy to see him.
It'd be nice to see if the media does stick the boot in the manner that they did at Liverpool. They went 30 years without winning a title, and it never got brought up to the level it is that United have gone 10 without winning one.
It's like, I think they haven't won one in 20 years, have they?
Arsenal. 21, but yeah.
21. Chelsea are coming to almost 10. Oh, it's almost 10 for Finger themselves, isn't it?
No, didn't they win one 17, 18?
2016, 17. Was it 2016, 17 that last?
Chelsea.
So it's not far off.
Yeah, City won a right load, haven't they? Scousers have fluffed a couple. One COVID.
One Leicester.
One Real. One Leicester.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Maybe you might be right. Could be 2017, 2018. 16, 17. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's almost like 10 years. But
Steve Harris with a comment: has Ronnie ever considered switching it up in games and having a shot?
I don't think I think I go byline too much to get shots off.
Adam Kelly says, Steve, if we win a big trophy under Ineos, will you buy a Grenadier? Probably not. I think they're quite nice cars, but I like my defenders, man.
He'll buy a Grenadier if you send in a 50k super chat.
Well, won't, because YouTube takes 50% and they're about 80k, I think. So
160k then. Peter Kelly super
I'll
chat.
come pick you up.
Yeah.
Peter Kelly says, after the win on Sunday, we need to change the narrative. 1 win in 10 is now unbeaten in 3 at Anfield, and now it's their record at home to us is so bad. Hey,
it's true. That's what football's like.
Them's the stats.
But it's the same. Because I've said this last few weeks, and I'm sure you agree. Manchester United are always one loss away from a crisis, isn't it?
Yeah, if we lose tomorrow, it'll be a crisis because you've just gone win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. Now you've gone win, lose.
Yes.
And if you it's patterns repeating.
Exactly. So we beat Liverpool in Anfield. If United lose tomorrow and lose 3-1 at home, then all of a sudden it's a crisis. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is with Manchester United. And then you go into Forest under Sean Dyche, who could probably have a new manager bounce, which I fucking hate. And then
Who do they play tomorrow, Forest? Oh, it was Sunday, wasn't it? Who do they play Sunday?
I'm not sure. They beat Porto yesterday.
Yeah.
They
not had a clean sheet in 20 games. Sean Dyche turns up.
Yeah. YouTube. Nah, I don't know who they play. Someone tell us who they play on the weekend. Court Star says YouTube take 50%. Wow, with a surprise face. Wait, you think YouTube are just...
Yeah, do you think
they're just giving everyone a platform for free?
How much all of their servers must cost for all of the data that people are uploading? People are uploading their pictures of their cat in 4K or video of their cat in 4K. Do you think YouTube are doing that for the love?
You think YouTube are just giving people a free platform to be like, yeah, well done, go. Here's a free platform for you to make money, and we're just going to do nothing.
Yeah, they take 50%.
They take percentages.
Yeah.
But it's Bournemouth they're playing actually. Ooh, good litmus test as well. Bournemouth,
yeah.
Great attack. Semenyo want to inform attacker. Damn, do you know what I mean? We'll see. Because people are saying that. Because I said it myself, for the Brighton game, so you got Baleba, you got Dyche with Forest, that these next couple of games are almost even bigger litmus tests than the
Spurs.
Than the Anfield
Brighton
win.
Forest Spurs is not a nice run.
Yes, and it's also games where it's like, it's not got that whole Big Six caveat where United have had this thing in the last couple of years where we can turn up where it's...
No, it's games that you're probably expected to win.
Yeah.
But if someone was a real analyst on this, United are not the favourites in any of those games. Or not an overwhelming favourite where they should be expected to win. Like we said the other day, mate, when you got them 4 games, this time last week it might have been, when we were talking about the par for those 6 games, 6 points was 4 games, 6 points was the par.
And we've already got 3.
We've got 3. So we get a win tomorrow, everything else after that is a bonus.
And Spurs have been in iffy form, innit?
Yeah.
By Thomas Frank, they're playing really stale football.
Grim says, I'd be happy when we put 7 or at least 5 past the Scousers at Old Trafford. It feels a long way away from us doing something like that. Everything's got to really click for that sort of stuff to happen, and we're not there yet.
It's because people can't live down that 7-0, innit? But that was a travesty. It was interesting because we went into that Anfield game in good form, I remember. Like, it was one of them where people was kind of thinking, oh, United could get a result. And then we 7-0 with, was it 2 XG conceded? Or something?
Yeah, it was like everything flew in. I think they only had 8 shots.
I think Liverpool had more XG last weekend than they did in the 7-0. Sometimes you end up on the right side of variance.
That's how it works,
do you know what I mean?
Man. That's how it works. Can we get Joe behind Asda merch?
There's this whole thing about Joe doing things with people behind Asda.
Yeah, especially because that's not the anyway. Notch says the 0-5 was worse. Games over after 10 minutes. That was one of the. I think the performance in that was way worse than the 7. The 7's obviously the headline. It was
1-0 at half time.
It's like that 8-2 against Arsenal was a way closer game than 8-2 suggests. It all went in for United. Remember, you're probably too young. You would have been 1. 99-2000 season. I think we beat Arsenal. I think it was 6-1, something like that. Dwight York hat-trick. We might have had 6 shots. It just everything went in. Just one of those days where it's just everything you fucking touched.
It did feel like that 8-2. I do remember the 8-2. It did feel like everything was going in, and they had a couple promising attacks. They ended up scoring 2 anyway, but it felt like the fact that everything flew in quite early, that kind of demoralised them, though.
Do you know, like, if you're in the Arsenal changing room before the game and you go, we can go out and score 2 goals here today, you'd be like, that's enough to get a result here. We're going to concede how many? Fucking hell.
8. What's with the checkered jacket? Thought the USA World Cup was next year. According to you. It's saying it's been to you.
I know, I understand that, but like, what? America's the only place that can wear check jackets. It's Barber, for starters, which is about as British as brands come.
I don't see that.
Notch says same with the 7-1. That Roma 7-1...
Was that the Carrick Screamer? I remember that as well.
Oh, mate. There was some football played in that game that was outstanding. The atmosphere was insane.
That's the type of games... We used to have matches like that all the time where we'd put 4 or 5 past someone and it would be great, enjoyable watch. This is in my young fandom during Fergie. I can just about remember some of the games like that one. And it feels like United haven't had that year. You know, we turn up at Old Trafford against a mid-table side, but I think, we could win 4-5-0.
We don't.
I think the only teams that do that now is like the fucking our rivals, City, Liverpool, Arsenal sometimes.
I'd put that Roma performance up with Turin in terms of some of the best performances I've ever seen from United.
Yes.
Porto at home, 1997, 4-0. Unbelievable. Some of the best. Joe was one of the best games of football I ever saw. Was the Roy Keane Vieira tunnel game, and I didn't know that had happened. I was on guard. You have to stand on the gate with your gun for 2 hours at a time, and I timed it so I would finish to see the match. So I've come in to see the match, but missed all of that tunnel shit. Didn't have any idea that had all happened, and then just watched one of the best games of football I've ever seen. Unbelievable game of football that was.
Fucking hell. I know. I was definitely too young for that. You know what? Do you know what people say is the best United performance since Fergie?
Wait, best United performance since Fergie.
I don't know if you'll get it.
Right, let's just paint it out. David Moyes, we beat Leverkusen 5-0, I think, under David Moyes. Probably it was good, but not our best. I think we beat Olympiacos 3-0 under David
purely
Moyes.
Performance. It's been like a collective thing. I don't know if it's more recent. This will give you a clue.
There was a couple of under Jose when we were 4-0 FC for about 5 minutes. They were good. There was a beating of City. Was it 4-2, 4-1, something like that at home under Louis, which was very good. There was some real nice football, both defensively and offensively under Ole. Ten Hag FA Cup final. What's the best performance I don't know.
It's on social media, on Twitter. People say it's arguably our best performance since Fergie. I don't know if it's a bit of recency bias in it. That should give you a clue.
Last week.
It was It was the 2-0 win against Tottenham at home under Ten Hag.
Don't remember it.
Do you not remember it? Do people remember it? You can go.
What's going on here?
I've got a...
Wait. Ronnie gets his own deliveries now. Oh, I'm all right, thanks.
Thanks, Dej.
5-0 Tranmere. Wasn't that 6-0? I was absolutely...
9-0 Southampton.
Smash-ettoed for that Tranmere game. We had ribs and rum in here. It was chaos.
People are saying... You can leave that out.
You got donuts as well?
Yeah, but obviously it rings out...
Oh, I've got donuts. All right.
You went right in the middle of the wide. You could have just come round the back.
So there's a new donut shop opened about, 30 metres away? It's called Rodeo. And I didn't realise why Janine was getting so excited about it being called Rodeo, but it's because of her line dancing thing in it. Only Deji pointed
Unbelievable.
That out to me today.
I'm not going to eat it on camera, but that is...
Oh, we got the sugar donut. What's the look at yours? Wait.
I got a Biscoff.
Wait, why does he get like this absolutely bananas Biscoff? And I just get straight out of Aldi 50p donut?
That type of donut you could have made yourself.
How much are they paying for this?
Adam Kenny says... No, not... Sip James John says Ronaldo spending his YouTube money. I haven't got any YouTube money yet.
Alex says, Steve, you're going to do a video comparing Baleba, Wharton, Anderson and Stiller without a shadow of a doubt. Well, let's get a little bit closer to January before we do that.
Yeah, he's just recently did a video, innit? Elliot Anderson versus Adam Wharton.
Yep, yesterday.
It got a hell of a lot of comments. I think it's one of those. Do you know when you ask a question, someone or all, everyone just chimes in. But it was very mixed. I think Anderson's still got a little bit of the ugly duckling thing going on where Adam Wharton seems a bit more flavoursome.
Do you know when that changes?
Do you know what I mean?
Next weekend.
When we see him close up.
Yeah.
I've watched Elliot Anderson a couple of times for Forest and he looks by miles their best player.
Yeah, he's ready for the levelling up.
Yeah, he's good.
Jamie even says, remember Steve's review for the Tottenham 2-0? He said best performance he's seen in years.
So exactly, it was.
Don't remember it.
People don't remember it, I think, because it was 2-0, Ten Hag at home. It might have been our best. I think it's one of the best performances I can remember that we've had in years. It was a 2-0, could have easily been 4-5, but Tottenham did not have a sniff, and we were like dominated from start to finish, and it was a good Tottenham side. And
don't
it was literally but you watched it, and your review after the game was best seen because everyone said that.
I'm going to go look. I don't remember it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I don't remember it.
But yeah.
Yeah, have a word. Some downgrade on the donuts. Honestly, feel absolutely jibbed here.
Someone said diabetes. Says hi. It's just one donut, innit?
Listen, head over to my Instagram. Me and Amy. She's been gallivanting off around China. She's back. Me and Amy are going to do a hot debrief for the Nick Dunn podcast because she wasn't here for it. We're going to do that, and we'll also answer some Patreon Q&A questions as well. So I'll post something up on my Instagram, like literally now, and we will do a Q&A. So if you're interested in checking that out, the hot debriefs have been really good on Patreon, where we sort of sit. It's literally a whole behind the scenes of like when we've shot one of our podcasts for Stephen Howson podcast. We sit there and we go like, right, what went right, what went wrong, what we're going to title it, blah 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 blah. But obviously she's been off for 2 weeks in
China and
China.
And
so we can chat to her a little bit about that if anyone's got any questions. It's never been a spot that I've ever fancied going China.
I definitely would, but I'm literally one of them people. I think most people are like that. If you had time and money, you just travel.
Yeah,
everywhere in the world, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Just to see it
all, don't you?
Yeah, want to see it all. So hopefully, I've started my YouTube channel. So in 10 years' time, and I can retire. I'll go travel if it goes well.
Barca away, PSG away, just because they wrote us off before. Which Barca away?
It might
be. Ten Hag. That was a good performance. I'm thinking Barcelona away under Ole, where we got absolutely smash-ettoed. Remember that? Ashley Young remembers that.
By the way, Connolly just said, where you lot playing tomorrow? I'm over from Ireland, want to come see the Paddock. Paddock have no game tomorrow.
Our ladies will be playing on Sunday, though, if you want to watch them.
So that's very unfortunate. I saw something that I was going to mention. Anderson had a decent game last night. It was very steady. Yeah, he definitely is. He's a good player, man. I actually feel like I've started leaning towards him. More towards what we want, anyway.
I think Wharton's what I want. But I mentioned this yesterday.
Can you get both? Both. BOAF.
Both.
Why not?
Because I think what we're looking at the moment is we're looking at the makeup of our midfield right now and overlaying that with the type of player that you might get, when actually they might want to adapt and change what we've got. And maybe we're going a little bit long, and maybe he would like to play out. If he had a Wharton, maybe he would play out, but he doesn't have a Wharton, so he opts to go long and work towards the characteristics of the players that we've got, aka piss with the cock you've got.
That is true. Good point,
As we're looking at, we're trying to project what we would do in a transfer market, looking at the players and the profiles that would fit the system that we've got, but maybe the manager's adapting the system that we've got now because he hasn't got the players that he would want to fulfill the characteristics that he would actually.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you, Steve. I'm going to mention it to you as well that are watching, because this is a point that I kind of made, a lot of people agreed with. So this is why football recruitment and transfers, especially at this level, is so difficult, because you can't necessarily just do your recruitment on performance based. So because for example, a midfielder could be playing really, really well for a team, but the way your team plays and what your team requires from a midfielder in terms of attributes might not actually suit him. You could have a midfielder that's not having a great time at a club, not playing that well, but they have the traits and attributes that you think could do really well for you. So it's
that's
working.
Absolutely accurate, but I'm wondering, has there ever been that sort of signing? Cantona sort of springs to mind as that, because Howard Wilkinson wasn't really having him, but he was playing. Yeah. He wasn't on the bench, he was playing. But Howard Wilkinson was like, if an offer came in, I'd let him go. And he let him go, and he was unbelievable for us. But that feels really, really rare, where someone's like, nah, not my cup of tea, but you go elsewhere and you're the missing piece for them winning the league and becoming dominant for a decade. I can't think where that's happened previously. Not immediately obvious anywhere, where someone's been a bit of an ugly duckling somewhere and then gone elsewhere and been incredible. Can you lot think of anyone? I'm sure there's loads that people will be able to think of. My brain's not braining at the moment.
Even Kudus, at West Ham, and then he's gone to Tottenham, probably been their best player this season. But I think Kudus was obvious. He's a good player. No, but West Ham fans that watched him said he was fucking frustrating, and he kind of tossed it off, and he was barely scored or assisted, and he's gone. He's like the assist leader in the league, but he's the only one that's actually playing well for Tottenham. But it's sometimes it's
Henry and Salah, people are talking about. But wasn't Salah doing all right at Roma, before he got that move? He wasn't. I mean, he didn't work at Chelsea, but he did all right at Roma, which is why he got the move to Liverpool, I think. Yeah. It wasn't like someone just saw him.
Nah, he was doing well. I think he didn't want him though. What do you call it?
Jose got Rúben and De Bruyne. That's a fucking clanger and a half, isn't it?
And Jurgen Klopp didn't want Salah.
Yeah.
He wanted Brandt.
But that's different to him being a bit of an outcast somewhere and someone spotting that he was amazing and then going there.
Yeah, but there will be players like that. It's just football, man. It's all about everything fitting into pace. You need to arrive at the team. Needs to be the right environment. Sometimes it can just click. You could have abilities and traits to provide to a team, but the way that team plays might not suit it, and then you don't play well. But then another team picks you up, and then you play much better. So it's just that's just how it is. That's why I think sometimes when you're looking at, but that's why Baleba, you could say, his form's tailed off. That could be a mentality thing, and when you're looking at Baleba, Anderson and Wharton, it could be a situation where you're not looking at just performance, you're looking at what traits do they have that's perfect for what you're trying to do with your team.
Yeah, well, I said that in the video yesterday. I was like, how much of the stats is because that's what they're doing, and how much of the stats is because that's what the team needs them to do.
100%. This is what means stats. You need a context, because everyone goes, because someone could be doing more passes per game, And it's like, maybe the way they're deployed in that team doesn't allow them to do more passes in the game, but they could do it for you. So it's like it's all sorts, isn't it?
Someone just said, Forlan, when he left us, was it Villarreal he went to first, or was it Atletico that he went to first? Because he left us and got European Golden Boot and could not fucking score for us. Yapstam to AC Milan, eh? Yapstam was classic.
Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer was highly rated at City as a youngster, but I guess that kind of could work.
Should England take Welbs to the World Cup? That's interesting. I think they've got players that can kind of do that profile of a job.
Yeah.
Be surprised if they do.
Pirlo. Van Persie. Nah, Van Persie was good at Arsenal.
What?
Which
Can't
one?
say Van Persie.
Yeah, he was good at... Who?
Cantona was playing away with... I think I've heard this. Was it Lee Chapman? Yeah, he was dipping it in Lee Chapman's missus, supposedly. I don't know, that could be a rumour.
What was the rumour about Zaha and Moyes?
Oh, that he took Moyes' daughter out?
Yeah, and that's why I never played him.
I don't think that was accurate.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But anyway...
Yeah, right, head over to my Instagram. We're going to go do a Q&A on... with me and Amy for Patreon, so any questions for myself and Amy, go and bang it in over there. Otherwise, take it easy.
Well, we'll answer this.
Preview's going to be out.
We'll answer this guy. Super job. So should England take Welbs to the World Cup? Yes, for vibes.
But yeah, take it easy. And there is no Paddock game this weekend, unfortunately, for those that were asking. But yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.